Full meeting order. Good afternoon and welcome to the 2015 Reorganization meeting of the SLH Heights Borough Council. Welcome everyone here, and especially Mrs. Irv Gladys. We're glad to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back.
Thank you. Mr. Delaney, please read the Open Public Meeting Act.
Pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this reorganization meeting was transmitted to the Coast Star and the Asbury Park Press newspapers and posted on the bulletin board here in the municipal building. It is noticed that the 2015 annual reorganization meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Spring Lake Heights will be conducted on January 1st, beginning at 12 noon here in the municipal building.
Thank you. Please stand for a moment of silence and you may stand for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please read the statement for November 4th, 2014 election.
Yes, Mayor, I am in receipt of the statement of the determination of the Board of County Canvassers relative to an election held in the Borough of Spring Lake Heights on the 4th day of November in the year of our Lord, 2014, for the election of the municipal officers for said Spring Lake Heights Borough. The said board determines that at said election, James Robert Schuler and Christopher Campion Jr. were duly elected members of the Borough Council full term. And this is under the signature of the County Board of Canvassers with the attest by the County Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Schuler, please introduce anyone you have here with you today.
They're not here.
Oh, okay.
I think they think it's 1 o'clock. Yeah. Sarah?
You want me to?
Yes.
And Mary, we
Thank you.
I, James Robert Schuler,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New
and
Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to
and
the same,
allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and
and
justly
justly
perform
perform
all the duties of the office as
all the duties of the office
a member of the Spring Lake Heights Borough Council,
as a member of the Spring Lake Heights Borough Council,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Mr. Campion, you please introduce you now.
Well, I have my wife, my youngest son Everett, and my oldest son Trace. You have to get up there, Trace. However this works out.
Hold it.
Thank you.
I, state your name,
I, Christopher Campion,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office as
all the duties of the office as
a member of the Spring Lake Heights Borough Council
a member of the Spring Lake Heights Borough Council
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, Jack. Thank you. All right, you guys can go. I'll see you later. I'll see you later, okay?
Yeah.
It's good. I don't know, that's a question.
At least I can go.
That little guy wants to get you working. I'd like to welcome back Councilman Schuler. Mr. Schuler, you have any comments you'd like to make at this time?
No, I'm glad to be back. Hopefully we'll have another successful year.
Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome Councilman Campion, and Chris, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the public and the residents who elected me, and hopefully I do right by them, and I'm very excited for the opportunity, so thank you.
Thank you. Good to have you, Chris. Anyone on the council would like to have anything to say?
I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. Congratulations to Jim Schuler and Chris Campion. I think it's going to be a great year.
Yes, Happy New Year and congratulations.
Happy New Year, and congratulations to these fine gentlemen, and I know that they'll do a good job, and we look forward to a very successful year, 2015.
Yeah, same congratulations, Happy New Year, and I look forward to working with you both, and it should be good.
Thank you. Thank you all. Next on our agenda are the Borough Council appointments.
And Mayor, the first item is the
Roll call.
adoption, would actually be the roll call.
Sorry, Jay. You got to do the roll call.
Mr. Campion,
Present.
Mrs. King,
Here.
Mr. O'Brien,
Here.
Mr. Schuler,
Here.
Mr. Tinkin,
Here.
Mr. Vorbach,
Here.
Mayor Mechanica.
Here. Thank you. We do have the election of council president and the borough council appointments for 2015. First item is establishing the procedure for the election of the council president. We need a motion and a second. What do you-
Go ahead, Jim, please.
I have nominated Sarah for the council president.
First, we have to establish.
We have to establish rules first.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to accept the resolution for establishing the rules for selecting council president.
I'll second.
Do we need a roll call, Tony?
Yes. Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach.
Yes.
Next item is, we do have to elect the council president. Are there any nominations?
I will nominate Sarah for the council president.
Second.
And do we have any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Tom O'Brien.
I'll second that.
Any others? Okay. The first nomination for Councilwoman King. We need a roll call, Jay.
Yes, Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Can I vote for myself? Yeah. And I'll say no. I'll vote for me.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
No.
Mr. Vorbach.
No.
That is a tie vote, Mayor.
And do I get a vote in this?
You do.
I do. I vote yes.
Being 4 affirmative votes for the motion to select Councilwoman King as council president for the year 2015, that has passed.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And good luck.
It's a good race.
Jay, you have to hold me to this agenda now.
Yes, item C,
Resolution,
planning board appointment.
planning board appointment, thank you very much. Class 3. This requires the governing body to appoint a governing member as a Class 3 member of the planning board. We would need a nomination, a motion, and a second. or no members would like this job?
I'll nominate Sarah.
I'll second it.
Do you have any questions? Roll call. Dwayne.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. This is a resolution appointing the council committees for the year 2015. I have a list here. Does everyone, for finance, I would like to nominate Councilman Thomas O'Brien. For legislation and grants, Councilman Mr. Vorbach. And for parks and recreation, Councilman Chris Tinkin. Public safety, Councilwoman Sarah King. Public works, Councilman James Schuler. And water utility, Councilman Chris Champion. We have a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Do we have any questions on the committees? A roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Next resolution for the year 2015 is appointing the Borough Council attorney, and I would like to nominate Mr. Gary McLean. And we need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? Chris?
Yeah, Mayor, I was looking over the information provided by Mr. Delaney in terms of maximum hourly rate.
Yes.
You know, and it looks like our former attorney had a lower hourly rate and was also willing to accept an even lower rate set by the governing body. So, you know, my concern is, of course, appointments like these can be a major cost to the governing body, to the taxpayers. So I'd like us to consider looking at our former attorney at a lower rate, or entertaining even lower rates from those interested in that position.
As far as the rate for Mr. McLean, it's $155.
Right. Yes.
And the rate for?
The rate for Keneally was $145, or rate as set by the governing body. So I would recommend that we set the rate at $135 an hour if he's willing to accept. If Keneally, Stark, and Cunningham are willing to accept a lower rate as set by the governing body, I would just say we set a lower rate at $135. And of course, this has, and I don't, you know, Gary's sitting right here, so it's, it has nothing to do with Gary. I know Gary. Gary did a great job. Just bring it up in terms of, you know, we all make promises to the public in terms of being fiscally conservative and fiscally prudent. This is an area where we can take a proactive approach to that. Legal fees are fees that can add up quite quickly. Our former attorney was quite efficient in the way that he operated. I believe he saved the borough a lot of money over past attorneys, and I just want to do right by the taxpayers. So it's nothing personal, Gary. I'm sure you'll do a great job. Just looking to do what's right for the town of Spring Lake Heights in terms of fiscal responsibility.
No, we appreciate that, Chris. I'm not sure if Mr. McLean would go along with making any adjustments. I can't speak for him. Now,
Butch, if I may, how long was Scott our attorney for?
1 year.
1 year.
Previous attorney, I don't want to make any comments about him. He was a nice fellow.
I guess my only concern would be, especially in the fiscally responsible realm, while a lower hourly rate may look efficient, I look at production off of that hourly rate, and if a guy's going to be $10 cheaper but bill us 100 hours more, it's not cost effective across the board. So that would be my only concern, is the overall efficiency, not just an hourly rate issue.
Yeah, and I think Jay could confirm that there was an efficiency, definitely more efficient. When we asked for responses, we didn't get 11-page responses, we got 2-page responses, which is definitely efficient. The time spent on things was much less than attorneys in the past. So I agree, now a lower hourly rate could look good on paper, but it's really how efficient is the person with that hourly rate, and our former attorney has been very efficient. That's not to say that Gary won't even be more efficient. So I agree with what you're saying.
I just can't speak to experience on that.
Sure.
So I apologize.
Good point.
And I have absolutely the highest esteem for Gary. I think he's great. I just have some trouble with the cost as well.
Mayor, procedurally, there is a motion on the floor that has been made and seconded, so unless there is a motion to table, it would be, at this point, procedurally, to move forward with the motion.
Can I ask a quick question? Would you entertain something more competitive? Should we table it, or it's not gonna change?
Well, no, I think that we did come down to be more competitive, and that's where it's going to be.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
I would just like to say that I think there's an old adage that you get what you pay for, and I was not really that in agreement with some of the comments that have been previously made about the prior attorney. I think he left a lot to be desired. I think we got spoiled with Attorney Raffetto when he was here for such a long time. He was very accurate and thorough with his comments, etc. And we have, you know, some standards to stick by. And I just think that this is one of the best choices. This is also the mayor's choice. The mayor has to be comfortable with who he works with as the borough attorney. And I don't really think that we should be up here making some of the comments that we're making when our mayor would like to have the selection that he has chosen. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I agree with Sarah that it's something that you've got to be comfortable with, Butch, and I go along with Gary.
I would appreciate your support, yes. Any other questions? Roll call.
On the motion to adopt the resolution appointing Mr. McLean as attorney, Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
No, just based on cost.
Mr. Vorbach.
And unfortunately, no.
Mayor, that's 4 affirmative votes. The motion has passed.
Thank you. Thank you, council.
This time I'd like to say
Welcome,
welcome,
Mr. McLean.
Gary.
Good to be back.
Welcome, Gary. Glad to have you. Next on the list would be appointing the borough engineer for 2015, and I would like to nominate Mr. Joseph May to that position.
And you need
Need a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Do you have any questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney?
Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Council.
Thank you. And we're glad to have you back, Joe. You're doing a fine job, and I know you'll continue the good work. Thank you. Next on the agenda, resolution appointing Mr. Colin Quinn as the municipal court judge. Judge Pappas retired last year. We want to thank Mr. Pappas for his great work over the years, and I would like to nominate Mr. Colin Quinn. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Do you have any questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach.
Yes, welcome, Judge.
Mr. Quinn served as our prosecutor, and he did an excellent job there, and I'm sure he'll do an excellent job as our judge.
Thank you.
Welcome. Next on the agenda is a resolution appointing the prosecutor. I would like to nominate Mr. Ronald Sage for being borough prosecutor for the year 2015. I would need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Do we have any questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney?
Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach.
Yes.
Thank you. Next would be resolution on the public defender.
Alternate.
Alternate, I'm sorry. Thank you, Tom. I would need a motion and a second for the alternate prosecutor for year
I'll make that motion.
2015.
I'll second.
Any questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda would be the public defender for the year 2015. I would like to nominate Mr. Charles Shaw.
I'll make that motion.
In a second.
I'll second it.
Any questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Next would be the alternate public defender, and I would like to nominate Mr. Donald K. Greer for that position for the year 2015. I would need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Do you have any questions? A roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the list would be appointing the zoning officer for the year 2015, and I would like to nominate Mr. Joe May again.
I'll make that motion.
Motion and a second.
I'll second.
Any questions? A roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Next would be appointing code enforcement officer for the year 2015, and I would like to nominate Mr. Neil Hamilton.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Next would be confirming our deputy borough clerk for year 2015, and I would like to recommend Ms. Janine Gillis for standing in the back.
I'll make it.
I'll make the, I would like to make that
I'll
motion.
second it.
Any questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Thank you, Janine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Next on the list would be the Board of Health for the year 2015. I'd like to recommend Mr. Leonard Giles and Ms. Patricia Scubon. Need a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the list would be the Beautification Committee for the year 2015. I would like to recommend Ms. Lisa Britton, Ms. Eileen Eilenberger, Ms. Dietra Fallon, Ms. Catherine Hahn, Susan Herner, and Ms. Deborah McCown. Need a motion and a second.
Make that motion.
Any
Second.
questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. Labor Council, thank you. Next on the agenda would be authorizing contract for Labor Council, and I would like to authorize the firm of Mr. McLean again
What?
for Labor Council.
It's actually Tracy Armstrong.
That's Tracy.
It's actually Tracy Armstrong.
Tracy Armstrong. Yeah.
Yep, Mayor, I think Mr. Schuler was attempting to, let you know, you skipped over item 9, which is your appointments to the
Environmental Committee.
environment.
Oh, I missed that one, sorry.
It's not here. I don't have it.
Let me
It's
find
on the
out.
pink sheet.
Yes, there's not a resolution as these are the mayor's appointments without the
Right,
council.
right, yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Uh, Thanks, Tom. All right, I need a motion and a second for the environmental.
I'll make that
He
motion.
doesn't, he doesn't need our motion.
No.
It's you. It's all you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to appoint Nancy Hayek as a regular member, Mr. Robert American, sorry, Rob, for all the confusion, I know you're here. Where are you, Rob? There we go. Sorry, Rob. Mr. Robert Cynthia as an alternate, and Mrs. Margaret Melchione as an alternate. Thank you, Tom, for that help. Apologize. Now a resolution for the professional service, Ms. Tracy Armstrong as our labor counsel.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Now, do we have any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to be, I mean, they do, Tracy Armstrong, the firm, do a fine job, but we're comparing $175 per hour versus $135 an hour for an alternate firm that's just as competent, so I would be supporting it.
Anyone else?
Yeah, same thing for me. I know the other firm at 135 has a good reputation, as does Tracy. So based on equal quality, costing less, I'm not going to support the current recommendation. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Anyone else?
I think I'm in the same boat there. I think we were very competitive. I think Mr. McLean's rate was very competitive. This one, I think, could be a little bit lower. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Tom. See no other, we have a roll call, Jim?
This is on the motion to award the contract for Labor Council. Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
No.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
No.
Mr. Vorbach.
No.
Mayor, that's a 3-3 tie.
I vote yes.
I'll still help you, Mayor.
I do. Next up, we're already talking.
All right, taxes.
Tax appeal. Next on the agenda, we appointing a tax appeal attorney. I'd like to nominate Mr. Fred Fetto. Need a motion in a
I'll
second.
make that motion.
I'll second it.
Have any questions? Roll call, Mr. Lane.
Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach.
Next on the list would be,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear Mr. Vorbach.
Yes. Multitasking.
next on the list would be appointing the position for auditor. I would like to nominate the firm, Mr. Robert Morrison of Woodylach and Morrison.
I'd like to make a motion to table this one, as I was just elected the finance chair, and quite frankly, it's one of the items that I didn't really get to research fully. So I don't have any outright objection to this one. I would really like to look into their credentials a little bit more, so I'd like to make a motion to table it.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Do you have any other question on the table? Roll call, Mr. Lino.
Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, consultant, correct?
Yeah.
I need a motion and a second to, I'd like to nominate PM Consultants for financial and accounting services for the year 2015.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Do you have any questions? Roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. I need a motion and a second for resolution to designate the borough's official newspaper for the year 2015, which will be the Asbury Park Press and the Coast Star and the Star Ledger. Need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any questions? Yes.
We don't have to advertise in all three, right?
No,
Can we always just do two newspapers?
As long as I've been here, it's been 3, and
Okay,
I
no
may
problem.
predate me, I'm not
Sure,
sure.
thanks.
I think
No
some
objections.
residents do get the Star Ledger.
Okay, no objections.
Thank you. Anything else? Roll call, Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach.
Yes.
Next on the resolution, next on the agenda will be resolution establishing the meeting schedule for the year 2015. And the dates are listed. I assume the only change would be, from last year would be, we're only going to schedule one meeting for December, and that would be December 14th. Everything else, pretty much, second and fourth Monday. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Any questions? Roll call, Mr. Lynch.
Mr. Campion,
Yes.
Mrs. King,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Schuler,
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach.
Yes.
I need a motion and a second to adopt the cash management plan for year 2015, and we have a list of banks there we deal with, work with.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? Roll call, Mr.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Borbaugh?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda would be resolution fixing the rate of interest charged on delinquent tax payments for the year 2015. Need a motion and a second.
Make that motion?
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, Ms. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Borbaugh?
Yes.
Gentlemen, I just would like to make one comment, seeing as we have a lot of residents here. We don't really have a problem with like delinquent tax payment. We're one of the better towns around. We have very faithful, loyal citizens that pay their property taxes. I want to thank you for that. Do we have a roll call on that, Ms. Blaine?
Oh, we did.
We did, okay, thank you. Next would be a resolution adopting temporary operating budget for the year 2015.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And do we have any questions? Roll call, Ms. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Borbaugh?
Yes.
Next, we need a resolution, would be a resolution designating various official and individuals to represent the borough. We need a motion and a second. I could go down the list. I think it would be a good idea. Community Development Program would be Mr. Delaney and Mr. Joe May as an alternate representative. Clean Community Coordinator would be Mr. Joseph May. 911 Coordinator would be our Chief, Dave Petrigan. Our Insurance Fund Commissioner, Mr. Delaney. Purchasing Agent, Mr. Delaney. Public Agency Compliance Officer, Mr. Delaney. Name don't belong. Research Officer, Mr. Delaney. And Indoor Quality Air would be Mr. May. And Pension Fund would be Mr. Delaney, and our CFO, Thomasino. Need a motion and a second.
Make that motion?
I'll second it.
Any questions? Roll call. Yes.
I was just going to point out, they're all fine people, and the best part is these individuals are not going to receive any additional compensation for this, so even better.
Congratulations, Jen.
Thanks for bringing that. Thanks for bringing that. Mr.
Roll
Campion?
call, Ms.
Yes. Unless you want me to vote no.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Borbaugh?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Next would be, on the agenda would be a resolution designating 2015 holidays for the year.
I would like to table that one for now until we have a further discussion on it. I have a problem with doing away with Veterans Day.
I know why you have a problem, too, Jim, because you're a veteran. I'm a veteran also.
So,
It's just that sometimes I put that aside and try to do what's best for the borough.
I still would like to table it until we have a further discussion.
Second?
I'll second that.
Well, any other questions about the holidays? Roll call, Ms. Delaney.
Mr. Campion?
This is motion to table?
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Tinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Borbaugh?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Okay. At this point in the meeting, we reached the time where the public comment section, where you may speak on anything you like about what's going on in town. Just step forward and give your name and address.
Unless you're someone else.
Just talk loud.
My Irish whispers.
There you go.
First of all, I'd just like to wish everyone a Happy New Year to everyone, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Mr. McLean, Mr. Delaney, and everyone else in the audience. I also wanted to I'm sorry, I didn't start out properly. Colin Quinn, 804 Lake Avenue, Spring Lake Heights. I also just wanted to thank everyone here today for the support that you've shown me in the last 16 years. As many of you know, I started out as the public defender here in town after moving into town with my wife and all my kids who have come along since, and just having had the opportunity to serve as public defender for a couple of years and then prosecutor for the last 14 years, if I have my count right. It's been a true privilege and an honor, and I thank you all. And I thank some of the former councilmen, Mr. McLean, Mr. Diver, I'm not sure if there's any other former council persons here. Yes, and thank you all. And I just say that it's an absolute privilege to have served for the borough in these roles, and I really cherish the opportunity to serve as the judge going forward. And I just want to thank everyone. Thank you very much.
Anyone else like to speak? Yes, sir. Like, sir.
Mayor and council, happy and healthy New Year to all of you. My name is Wayne Palmer. I
You need to give your address.
I formerly lived at 1009 Wall Road in Spring Lake Heights. I'm now a resident of Wall, and the residents of this great community gave me an opportunity to be a councilman 35 years ago today, and served with many great people. It's a great community. I had the privilege of serving with the last 5 mayors up on that screen. I served as a councilman, council president, and a mayor for a year when the current mayor had some health problems. So I want to wish you all the very best. I promised myself I would come back after 35 years and wish you all of the best.
Thank you.
I know what you go through. I really appreciate it, and I know you do some fine work, and sometimes it's not, given as much credit. So God bless you all, and the best of the new year.
Thank you. Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you were partly responsible for this bill.
I was on the building committee, Mayor Frank Adams, and I was the council president at the time. We were on the committee that designed and started the construction of this building.
Thank you. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming back.
Anyone else like to speak? Seeing no hand, I need a motion to close the public comment.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Before we adjourn, gotta look at my notes.
I don't have those.
Mr. Delaney went through all the triple ratings, knows I'm going to follow them. Okay, there's no further business. We do need a motion to adjourn, but before we adjourn, I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. I'd like to wish everyone a happy and healthy new year, especially my buddy Tom here.
Thank you, man.
And I'm glad to be working with everyone on the council here. I appreciate all the fine work you did last year. You were a great help to the town, and a great help to me, and I'm sure you'll be the same this year. So I want to thank everybody up here, and I want to thank our residents as well. If anyone else would like to say anything before we adjourn?
Well, not to sound like a mutual admiration society, but you've done a great job, Mayor, and I'm proud to be among these other council people as my colleagues. It's a wonderful thing, and thank you. And thank the public. And I didn't go public with this. I had a neck cancer this past. It was a year. It started in August 13, and a long journey, but people were very supportive, and I feel like Jimmy Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life. So this is such a wonderful town. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to say anything? Need a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thanks.
Thank you.